I love you with every fiber of my being, Eleanor. But this love won't keep me alive, nor will it be able to protect you. When Nora finds herself in the past, away from her mundane life, she chooses to take the place of a dead princess. An arranged marriage with the soon-to-be king of the neighboring kingdom will help her discover love, friendship, and hidden secrets. An ancient curse has been haunting the royal family for ages. Will she be able to break it and save her loved ones from the cruel hands of death? Time is already running out. Oh, hello. I didn't notice you there. Welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I am your host, Jonathan Taylor. Today's video will be another review, and in this review I'm going to close out the trilogy of releases by Despoina Nakemeridu with a look at her debut short story, Fated to Meet You. I now realize that I probably should have started with the debut rather than finish with it, but oh well, what's past is past. Unlike in this time travel romance, unless we go by... No. I am not going to go into nerd analysis mode for the sake of this story. I'm not saying the story would crumble if I did. I will instead say it's written in such a way that it circumvents all time travel logic bombs altogether. So what is this story about? Well, just like last week's story, it's about a main character and narrator, this time called Nora, who finds herself within a romantic relationship due to certain supernatural occurrences. There are, however, two major differences. The first difference is that the supernatural occurrence this time is that Nora herself is flung back in time and then impersonates a princess who died quite suddenly, and then enters an arranged marriage with with a soon-to-be king, as the description put it. The second major difference is that this story also happens to have a secret villain, and one with what is admittedly a quite clever plan. Simple, but clever. So what makes this story stand out? What makes it, for better or worse, or hopefully more for the better? What makes it actually good? From a character standpoint, I have to say the most well-written character overall is once again the main character. Nora herself has her very own well-established proclivities and opinions, as well as a vivid inner and social life, both in the past as well as in the present. The other character that I'll say stands out from this entire story is her love interest, Jake. Admittedly, most of what we see of him is rather indirectly rather than directly. We see how we see his small gestures of care and attention towards Nora, as well as his efforts to break the curse that fell upon his family. While that does make for a more interesting and more engaging reading experience, Jake himself just kind of comes across as a bland nice guy. Then again, he still comes across somewhat better than a lot of the other characters I could mention, most of whom only get a name and a role, if that. Once again, we're going with a story that goes by the narrative isn't about them, so there's no need to focus on them rules. What I will appreciate the story, however, is the amounts of twists and turns it manages to pack into its narrative. It's only 48 pages long, but it becomes a thrill ride once you start to discover and put together all of the plot details that make everything about the story work. Despoina could be a very good mystery writer if she ever decided to move away from romance. And to be honest, that would... Wait. Oh! Fuck. Damn. I just now realized something. I wanted to go on a little rant, so to speak, about how once again Despoina overemphasized the peril of the romance and left the romance itself underdeveloped. But I realized that she doesn't really, I don't think she really distinguishes between these two aspects. To her, what makes this romance perilous or vulnerable is exactly what makes it interesting and engaging. And what's really interesting is that she actually found an audience for that. Like, there are lots of people out there who see this, who see this as being precious and who need to be protected, and who very much accept that story at face value. So therefore, almost anything I could say about this, about this story would be invalidated, because, well, I'm not rating it by the criteria the story itself really wants to be rated. Then again, I still think this aspect of the story is worth critiquing because of something I mentioned in a video I made about relationships about 9 months ago. Think to that right there. The main point of that video that is relevant for this review is that a relationship isn't interesting because it is vulnerable. It is interesting because of what it tells us about the characters involved, and what kinds of changes or reveals can be discerned with the help of these this relationship. And if I were to rate the romance based on that, and therefore also tie my rating of the plot into that, I have to say the story comes across looking somewhat weaker. So yeah, regrettably you're still servicing a bad romance, even if your plot is strong. So you still get points deducted at this point. Sorry. Overall, while this time travel romance I think works better as a story than as a romance. While the romance itself is quite sweet, there are many other aspects that jump to my attention and really make it more interesting in and of itself. For that reason, after some deliberation, I think the final rating is still a 3 out of 5. And yeah, that was my review. Thank you very much for your attention. I also want to say that because the day of the spooky happens to be next week, next week's video will also be about something somewhat different. But that's not for now. For now, I want to ask you to please leave a like to this video if you enjoyed it, and then maybe share it wherever you think others will like it as well. If you have anything you'd like to add to anything I mentioned in this review, then please go ahead. The comment section awaits your input. And if you want to see when my next video comes up, then please subscribe. Ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor. My own debut novel, Heir to the Empire: The Next Generation, is available on Amazon, Kobo, Smashwords, and all of their affiliates, a master link to which you will find in the description below. And this has been the Heir's Lair.